Like, dude, your house,
Yeah.
it doesn't even seem like you live here. Like,
Yeah.
you have to start doing something to make this your home.
Can I tell you, some things in life you just realize that you have to spend the money to do. And like, I accepted that I am not a fucking interior designer, but I don't want the place to look as sad as those early apartments.
Yeah.
It is the thing. You have to call somebody. You just call
Really?
them. Yeah, you just call them. And what you do is they go, here's pictures of things. And you go, I like this and I like this. And then they go like, what do you think of this idea? And you're like, yeah. And then they just do it.
Wow.
And you go, yeah, that's worth it.
And it was worth it?
Yeah, it's worth it because it's your home. So you're going to walk in there every time and be like, oh, this feels awesome. And it feels like you because you want it to be things that you pick. But you realize that you're never going to do that on your own.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, you specifically just said that there's shit in there that was there like from when you bought it.
Oh, yeah. There's pit drawings of the previous family was black ownership, and they
Black ownership.
there's two black. Yeah, there's like a thing of
like a business. So you're like, this is a black owned fucking car dealership.
yeah. It's like Tulsa, whatever that thing was. But it was there's like some there's people that I don't know on the walls.
Oh,
you
really?
know? Yeah.
And
There's-
so you bought this place.
yeah.
They had left a few things, and you're just like, leave it.
Yeah, I just never got a plan. I think all the furniture, everything that's in there.
See, what I would do, all the furniture too?
Oh,
What I would
everything.
do
Beds,
is-
everything.
Wow.
Even awards, actually. I guess the man had won a couple of awards.
What kind of awards?
First black something or other, you know? So it's like, I feel bad keeping that,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Some
yeah.
of them are kind of cool,
Some
you
of them are
know?
cool. Dude, what you got to do is when you have somebody help you, design the place.
Yeah.
But like have a few of those like photos or something that are still from when you got it. So it's mixed in. It's all Theo.
Okay.
But then when people are like, what's up with this black family? You're like, that's previous owners.
Yeah.
You're like, do you know them? And you're like, nah, I like to honor them. You know?
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
here
I want to have
first.
some honor for them.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, because it's but there'll be nights where I'm groggy and I'm like, holy shit, I'm the first black, like, you know, commissioner of something,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
When I'm kind of just wandering around. It was an insane combo, right? People weren't ready for it. Like you're saying, like people want to put you in
Sure.
one box.
If you're a fighter, you can't be gay. Yeah.
Never had seen it.
Yeah.
So, so we became buddies. We were both bus boys, and we became buddies, and we started shooting up, and we'd pull over on the side of the interstate and stuff like that, and just douse each other up, and we're just driving around. Just, it was right around when Princess Diana had died too, and it was just a fucking lot. But I remember we would do a bunch of steroids, and I remember the first day I was in class where I guess the teacher had given me like every quarter she had this stack of papers and she would turn them all back to the students. She gave me this stack. And I'd had the stack before and it was usually kind of heavy in my hands.
Yeah.
And I just remember like she gave me the stack and I was like,
Oh, isn't that funny? You remember the weight of it.
yeah.
That this
like,
is
oh, this is
light. This is light work, baby.
Yeah. This is light work,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
So I remember walking around with this stack and I was like, oh, I'm a fucking different guy now.
Yeah. It's a good feeling.
And then I was doing all kind of shit. And I would buy shit that wasn't even steroids that people would tell me it was. And I was fucking had diarrhea for like 3 months one time, horribly. I put there's still some stuff. I took some kind of oil, like I think some illegal oils or whatever. There was some things that I wish I hadn't taken, probably. But at that time it was so rare to get it. One time we all went to Mexico for school year thing or something, end of school, and people bought it back in shampoo bottles. So then you were fucking doing this sudsy, bubbly fucking,
Really?
yeah, like you felt like slippery all the time, but you were still doing.
I wish I remember being scared to try in high school.
Yeah.
And there was a couple dudes that were doing it in high school, which I thought was like, because back then for me, like all you'd heard was like Lyle Alzado.
Oh,
and
yeah,
like,
he died.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, steroids. And I was like, oh, steroids are like the worst. And then there's a couple of kids, like 16-year-old kids, on steroids. And one of them looked like he looked like a bodybuilder. Like he had a muscular man's body. And you kind of were like, that'd be fucking pretty nice. This guy's like, just fucking jacked. But I still was like, nah, if I do that, I'll die. Like that's what I thought, you know. Like I wouldn't do it. And then this dude went to college and got on. I saw him on a break, and I was like, I mean, he looked like a gorilla. I was like, what are you on? He's like, they got me on this shit called Darth Vader. And I was like, that's, yeah, I see it. Like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I fucking see it, dude. He was fucking so jacked. I remember he went to Florida State. And
yeah, that was that nation. Remember they had that movie that came out about Florida State?
Yeah, yeah.
They were doing the drugs, man.
Yeah.
I think there was something that was definitely, it was big. It was big to get, if you could get on some roids, and then like, yeah, you would get a girl who was like always just afraid you were going to beat her. Some of those women, you know, like
perfect girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she'd be like, don't beat me. She'd write that at the end of every like love letter or whatever. And you hadn't even thought about it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
but they get your wheels turned. It was
She sees what you do to tables and windows and shit. And she's like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. There was a couple times where I fucking snapped, man, where you would be shocked at some of your own behaviors, you know? And then your strength matches your anger and you're just able to do something insane, you know?
Were you doing like traditional lifts when you were juicing too? Like bench, squat, deadlift, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. A lot of that, some rows where you
hit crazy numbers on them?
I probably got to maybe 260, maybe I could bench 245 or 260, which isn't insane, but for me it was.
Yeah, sure.
Squats, I did okay, but I definitely remember, and I never thought I looked okay, so I really had some deficiency with my own brain.
Yeah,
I was always like, do I seem okay? I'd be embarrassed to take my shirt off at places.
You didn't have that Bert mentality at all.
No, the unlimited fucking like. I feel like Bert should just turn his stomach, get a nipple put on his, just make a third tit, you know?
It's almost there.
Like the biggest tit, like the winner tit.
Yeah, this is the main tit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, how sick would that be if you went to see Bert?
Yeah.
He's got two nipples and then like a little curtain and he pulls it over.
Yeah.
And it's like the unveiling.
Perfect. Yeah. God, I saw a lady last night with the craziest tits.
Really? Like, good or bad or risque?
Wait, it was just, you know, when they were such outrageous tits. Like she was hot and they were enormous. And she was wearing the, you know, the top that goes here, but the top was just above the nipples. So, I mean, just a covering. Like you could almost see the beginning of a nipple. And they were like here, and then she has this little body. And part of you just wants to go like, hey, why don't you just take a moment in the room and just go, hey, everybody, get used to them.
Yeah.
Like, why are we going to pretend like we're gazing past you?
Right, yeah.
Like, I kept having to pretend. I was like, what's that noise over there? I wasn't looking at a fucking noise. I'm looking at your crazy tits. Your tits are insane.
Yeah, is that an owl?
Yeah, and then guys are like talking to me about other things. I go, we're going to talk about her tits first. Like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, do you think we're going to like gloss over this? Like, her tits are out. She has huge tits that are out in the room.
Yeah, it is weird not to just bring it up. It's like when someone's in a wheelchair and they try to pretend they're not in a wheelchair.
Oh my God, please. Like, and tell me some shit. How do you go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
You know, like I want to know.
Or like almost hit my head on that door frame. It's like, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Give me a couple of lines about what it's like. I'm going to tell you shit. Like I'm going to be like, hey, let's race. Like, let's have a little fun with this.
Let's fucking get weird.
Yeah.
It was when Donald Trump was running for office, right?
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick had written him a letter that just said, hey, congrats on running for president. Right. And I think Trump mentioned it, and then the media attacked Belichick about it. Right. But he said, hey, that's my friend.
Right.
I support my friend. Yeah,
100%.
and and people need to be able to stand up. I think a lot of people are in fear because
I'm having breakfast with him tomorrow on his plane. He's my friend.
Right.
We talk all the time. We talk about fights. So he called me up right after Abu Dhabi and said, those rides are great. Oh my God, the Volk,
I met him twice at your events, man.
Exactly.
And it was great.
He's a great guy. He's
it was neat.
The politics are dirty, man. It's nasty. It's ugly, and like all the shit that's going on with him right now. If he wasn't running, they wouldn't be doing any of this stuff to him. None of this would be happening. And if he wasn't in the lead, like he's going to win the election, none of this would be happening to him right now. So it is what it is. And the guy's always been an amazing friend to me. He and I will be friends for the rest of our lives. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to meet him. That's the first president I ever got to meet. I would support any of our presidents,
Yeah.
I always
I'm that guy too. I'm not volatile over politics, man. This is America.
Yeah.
You can vote for whoever you want. You could be on either side of the political spectrum. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't judge you by your politics. I judge what type of a person you are.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you think the government's going to save your life, dude, I've always said this.
Me too. The government.
They're just
These people that want the government, you want less government. You want them out of your life. You do not want the government. And the government's never going to take care of you.
Yeah.
Never going to get rich off the government.
Yeah, dude, no, dude. Stamp collections get
Yeah,
fucked, homie,
exactly.
right? The post office is almost out of business, dude. Have you been to the post office recently? They just tell you how to get to wherever you want your mail to go. Dude, I'll say this. There's nothing tougher than, there's nothing more ridiculous than expecting the government. But I think we're in a weird space now where we're between the government that we've been used to and a new kind of privatized communism almost.
I'm with
so
you.
I think we're in this weird space of almost two governments where one is like almost a shadow.
Well, there's a battle going on
Yes.
right now. There's a war
There is.
going on in the government. One that wants to go one way that most of us don't want to go, and one that wants to keep things the way they are.
Yeah.
It might be broken and fucked up and needs to be fixed, but we're definitely in that weird place right now.
I agree. So get off your Pelotons, boys, and let's fucking go to war.
I love it.
Dana White, man, thanks so much, dude. And just thanks for, David Spade got to bring me to a fight, and